The Itadori family is one of the most chaotic, nuclear, and wild clans that exist in anime, and this is also taken into consideration that the JoJo family line is also pretty wacky, where you have Dio, who was such a freak for Jonathan Joestar, he literally came into his body.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
After the many revelations in the JJK manga, where it's now kind of commonplace for sorcerers being inside each other, the Itadori family has cemented itself as the most down-horrendous freaks to walk the earth. And yes, I didn't forget that the Zenin clan is also a thing. Well, not really anymore because they basically got the Logan Paul Crypto Zoo treatment, but you get the picture that I'm trying to paint. So before we get into this, we first gotta break down a massive theory in this rabbit hole of degeneracy that may have ignited this dumpster fire. With that being the fact that Sukuna's mother is Tengen, which by the way may be the most normal thing about this family. Tengen is this immortal blob, once a top dog waifu that maintains the balance of JJK. She doesn't have the same biological desires that other humans do. Her internal regulations are completely different, meaning she could starve herself and it wouldn't matter, but the babies inside would suffer. This part is important, so we'll circle back to it in a bit. Because Tengen's only focus was moderating Jujutsu society, due to neglect, she is by definition the worst mother figure in this family, and that's saying a lot because there's also Kenjaku. And her neglect would also be the primary cause of why Sukuna turned out the way he did, so if this theory holds true, literally everything is her fault. Now some may think I'm just yapping about nothing, but the fact that Tengen preserved Sukuna's old body is pretty damning evidence. She possibly did this because she felt bad when her son Sukuna was gone, so it's kind of like this absurd sentimentality of a mother's love if you want to call it that. But the most notable detail that could connect all the dots is the fact that they both have 4 eyes, and I'm not talking about glasses. So in my personal headcanon, and for the purpose of this video, Tengen is Sukuna's mother, but this leads into our main man, the King of Curses, and a guy who has an extremely absurd obsession for teenagers, Sukuna. Now, over 1,000 years ago, an infant 3-year-old Sukuna resided in the womb of his mother, starving alongside his twin brother. And JJK Gordon Ramsay cooked and consumed his twin, and as a twin myself, I take this personally. I think Gege found out about my JJK content and my YouTube channel, and just wanted to troll me as much as possible. But despite Sukuna's hunger, that same twin brother he devoured would later reincarnate centuries down the line until incarnating into Jin Itadori, who is Yuji's biological father. Now, while all of this is going on, we also got Kenjaku, a jujutsu freak with far too much time on his hands like the average Twitter warrior. Kenjaku is a person who seeks to evolve humanity using curse energy to usher in a golden age of jujutsu, and he does this by experimenting with people and curses, which by extension is how we get the death paintings. But during one of his many lives, he inhabited the body of Kaori Itadori and gave birth to Yuji for the purpose of creating a vessel for Sukuna.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Now, this is where I gotta give some slack for Jin, because while Sukuna is the king of curses, my guy is the king of freaks. I know damn well that bro was completely aware that Kaori's body was abducted by Kenny the Down Horrendous. I mean, dude, one day your wife is chillin', the next moment she has scars on her forehead. Even your dad knew something weird was going on, and you still dismiss that stuff anyways. Oh yeah, Itadori's grandpa is also part of this equation, but he's pretty normal. But look, let's give credit where credit is due. My guy Jin was in his Denji arc, and all he cared about was one thing and one thing only. So despite every sign across the galaxy, he followed through on his let's call it instincts, and the end result was producing our favorite JJK mad lad Yuji Itadori, who is Sukuna's nephew by extension, which takes their dynamic and completely flips it on its head. The entire time Sukuna was disrespecting Yuji, he was really just bullying his nephew. But this could explain why he's such a savage to him, because as an incarnation of his family, he was probably disgusted by Yuji's glaring humanity to sacrifice himself for others. While Sukuna's ideology completely opposes that message of burning everything to the ground and doing what he wants when he wants. And just a side note, it's actually crazy that there is a legitimate discussion on who took the greater family backshots, Itadori's black flashes on Sukuna versus Jin's white splashes on Kenjaku. But I digress. Anyways, because of Kenny and his fascination with getting his back blown out, Itadori has a bunch of half-brothers, aka the death paintings. The Curse Womb death paintings are mysterious objects made from blood of both human and cursed spirits, making them powerful and unique in the jujutsu world. And Kenjaku created these entities by forcefully impregnating women and using cursed spirits and his own blood, therefore literally making them Itadori's blood brothers. It also implies that the entirety of the Kamo clan is by extension Itadori's distant relatives, meaning the current Norito Shikamo is like his cousin or something. I don't know, this family tree is turning into grapevines at this point. But sadly, Itadori only found out about his family connections a little too late, so he incidentally killed like 3 of his brothers at the end of season 1 with the assistance of Megumi and Nobara. And then later on before the Shinjuku showdown, he also consumed the rest of the death paintings, ergo his other brothers, in order to adapt to his potential and take down Sukuna. But in this extremely absurd twist of events, we got Chozo, who is unironically one of the greatest brother figures in anime. Despite everything that happened, Itadori and Chozo were able to foster a genuine family relationship where they live, fight, and protect each other, making his passing in the manga even more tragic, especially when he condemns himself for being no good. It really gave me those Ace and Luffy vibes, so if there's one thing to remember, it's that Chozo is a real one. But outside of the wholesomeness, there's one final piece missing from this insane family, and that's my guy Todo. Todo, as far as we know, has no blood connection to Itadori, Sukuna, Kenjaku, or anyone. He's just some guy with great taste in women and 10 out of 10 zest. He's a legendary character. But through the delusions that affected the very fabric of his soul, he completely believes that Itadori is his brother. It's come to the point that his actual memories were overridden and replaced with special moments with Yuji, even though they never actually happened. But shout out to Todo, because his brotherly love matches that same Chozo energy. And whenever Itadori falls down and believes he can't get back up, it was Todo that was there to inspire him to keep on going. He's also an obsessive otaku, which many weebs can relate to, plus he's a chat among chats, which obviously I can relate to. But yeah, in hindsight, Jujutsu Kaisen really is just one giant family feud, so someone call Steve Harvey, cause it seems like something he'd find interest in this mess of giga proportions.